Galileo wrote to Kepler in a letter, "In Pisa, Florence, Bologna, Venice, and Padua, many have seen the planets. But all are silent on the subject and undecided, for the greater number recognize neither Jupiter nor Mars, and scarcely the moon as planets. At Venice, one man spoke against me, boasting that he knew for certain that my satellites of Jupiter, which he had several times observed, were not planets because they were always to be seen with Jupiter, and either all of some them now followed and now preceded him. What is to be done? Shall we side with Democritus or Heraclitus? I think, my Kepler, we will laugh at the extraordinary stupidity of the multitude. What do you say to the leading philosopher of the faculty here, to whom I have offered 1,000 times of my own accord to show my studies, but who with the lazy obstinacy of a serpent who has eaten his fill have never consented to look at planets, nor moon, nor telescope?" Selamünaleyküm friends. Galileo Galilei was born in 1564 in Pisa in Italy. He was the first child of the Galilei family. He was a famous doctor. Oops, he was not a doctor, right? He was an astronomer, mathematician, physicist, and philosopher in the early Renaissance times. But he had started his university education in medicine department of the Pisa University in 1581. In the youth years, he enrolled to the monastery school. After that, his father wanted to make him a doctor because of the financial expectations. However, after starting the university, Galileo met mathematics and physics. Then Galileo decided to work on mathematical subjects, and he left the university without taking a diploma. Let's try to understand the times of Galileo, 16th and 17th century. At these times, Italy was ruled by duchies, and Catholic Church on effective these duchies and people. Moreover, Church could judge the people. In 16th century of Europe, physical and metaphysical religious sciences were intertwined. Some views of Aristotle has understood like religious rules. For instance, people thought that world is the center of the universe. Additionally, the heavens were considered sacred, and the objects in the heavens and their movements were believed to be perfect. They thought that only the earth could include imperfections. That is, they believed that the earth and the universe are the opposite of each other. Also, these ideas were the prevailing opinions in universities. Another prevailing idea was about free-falling objects. Aristotle had claimed that heavier things are falling quicker, and this was the prevailing idea in Europe, like other Aristotle ideas. According to Aristotle, when you left the two objects which has different weights, they will fall proportional to their weights. So if object 1 is 5 kilo, 2 is 1 kilo, object 1 will fall 5 times quicker than object 2. Nevertheless, Galileo didn't agree with Aristotle. We don't know it was in Pisa or not, but he started to make experiments about free falling bodies. And he saw that the bodies falling ground almost at the same time. He thought in vacuumed area, so no air resistivity, they will reach the ground exactly at the same time. But he hadn't have enough technology to prove this. Afterward, he started to use inclined plane to continue his experiments. Thanks to those experiments, he proved constant acceleration. Namely, when a ball falling the ground, it will accelerate constantly and properly, depends on time, as you see in now. Galileo had a problem to measure time exactly for experiments, because he hadn't a sensitive clock. A Sunday, while Galileo had been in the church, he noticed that the chandelier was shaking. He thought the time taken for each short or long swing of the chandelier might be same. Then he created a pendulum to understand this. And yes, he thought right. Each swing of the chandelier was the same. So he discovered the fundamental of pendulum principle. It is basically it takes same time to swing between A1, A2 and B1, B2. Galileo sold these pendulums to doctors, and they used it treatments to know the time. Apart from the discoveries, his method was what separated him from his contemporaries. Well, what was the Galileo's method? It was the scientific method. He used observations and experiments to understand the nature, and he tried to understand nature as mathematically as Ibn al-Haysam and Archimedes. However, his ideas didn't accepted in his times, because he taught the inverse of dominant thoughts, like Bruno, Kepler and Copernicus. Nevertheless, until the invention of telescope, he didn't face any obstacles except some bad considerations about it. In 1609, he met telescope created by Dutch eyeglass makers. Actually, he didn't even see one of them, but quickly built a telescope which is better than the Dutch. He improved his telescope day by day. Eventually, the telescope magnified up to almost 20 times. When he turned his telescope to the heaven, he proved that Copernicus was the right, unlike Aristotle's. World is not center of the universe. Besides, he discovered sunspots and 4 moons of Jupiter. However, he had paid heavy price for his discoveries, because Galileo's some claims were completely inverse of the Catholic Church beliefs. Galileo didn't think his findings conflicted with religion. Even he wrote in a letter as, "In my opinion, it is never an appropriate method to use scripture verses by force to show the truth of our beliefs about nature. Because with the proofs that our senses offer us, or some other proofs, the opposite may come up later. Who can put limits on human understanding? Who can make us believe that everything that can be known in the world is known?" He thought that God gave us 2000 years more time than Aristotle to observe and understand the universe. However, they didn't even want to look at heaven with a telescope. Then in 1633, he was judged in Inquisition courts because of defending Copernican heliocentric system. He spent his last 9 years like prison at home. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more information about Galileo, then you can check the description side of the video.